Okay, I think we are recording. Ah, okay, welcome. So this is the first video for my YouTube channel. I have no idea why you're watching. I have no idea why anybody would watch this, but yeah, let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna try to solve this problem. I have done this before, but I'm just gonna try to solve this on a video uh, and see how I do. Okay, so this is longest substring without repeating characters. Uh, so yeah, so if this is the input, you are written ABC because that's the longest you can go without repeating a character. When you hit A, it's repeating, so you have to sort of start over again. But if you try again, you still get ABC, and then you get B. So the largest one that you can get through this input is ABC. This one similarly will always be B, so the length is 1. Yeah, we are returning the length, not the longest substring. This one, you start off P, W, and then again a W, so you have to stop. So PW is the longest at this point. Then you start again and you get W, K, and E. So that's the longest because when you get this W, you have to stop. Okay, so uh, the brute force is, of course, like you basically find all of the substrings and then check if that substring has a repeating character. If it does, that's not the answer. But if it doesn't, you sort of like keep the length of it, and then in the end of it, return the maximum length that you found. That's the brute force. Uh, in an interview, you can present that, but I don't think that's the answer, or that's the solution that they are expecting. Uh, for a problem like this where you're trying to uh, get a max window sort of on an input, uh, sliding window should come to your mind. In this case, you keep your left pointer at, let's say, A, and then you try to extend the pointer, your right pointer, as much as possible. So in this case, when you hit this A, you know that you cannot really extend your right pointer, so you sort of stop here. And in this case, you have to make a decision. So your left is here, but your duplicate character is here, right? So you sort of have to increase your left. So you'll say your left plus 1, or your left, or where you found the duplicate plus 1. So right, so your left would come here, and then you would start again. When you hit B, you sort of repeat the process. You know that B is where the left is at now, so that's not a valid position for left anymore, so you sort of increase that, uh, and that becomes a O of n time and O of n solution as well. Okay, let me try to code that up. So you with Swift, you there are two ways to do that, right? So you can use the string index API, but just to just to keep the things simple for this solution, first I'll try to just do it with an array. So if I have a string, I can convert that to an array just by passing it like this. Now we need 2 pointers, right? So you left is at 0 and initially right is also at 0. Now your loop is going to go till your right is less than sRA.count. Now and you also have the max length, which is what you're going to return. It starts at 0, but eventually it will have the answer which I'm going to return. So now we want to extend right as much as possible till we do not find a duplicate. So to record duplicates, I would need I just don't need a thing that tells me if this is duplicate or not. I also need the last index of a particular character, right? So I'll need a map. So I'll need char index, let's say map. So this is a map from character to index. And now so let's say the current character is s array of right. Now let's say the previous index where this character was found, if that exists, we have to run some code, we have to do something special, which otherwise we don't want to, right? So there are two conditions here. So if the for the current character, if we do have some data, uh, we need to update our left. But if we don't, uh, that's the easier case, right? That's a straightforward case. So let me code that one first. So if this is a character that we haven't seen before, first off we have to update this map for the index of current character, which is right. And then max length might change, so we want to take a max of the current max length and the distance between current right and left. Initially they're both 0, so you do +1, right? So that gives you that you are essentially considering current character's length. So that's the straightforward case. Now if you do if the current character was previously seen, your left needs to change. Now the left, it's entirely possible that the current character that you have found is maybe even to the left. It's in the previous window, right? So for example, what you have found out has been seen before, but you are past that character's index. In that case, you don't want to change the left, so you want to change the left. So the left has to be changed. It has to be max of left or the previous index +1. That's your left, right? And at the end of it you return max length. So if I walk through this code, let's go for an input, right? So you have ABC and BB, right? So we are walking through this array. Left and right both initially point to A. Now you get A out, you check if it's already there. It's not, right? This is the first iteration of the loop. You update the map. The map would now say A is at 0. Now you're calculating the max length. This is set to 0, so you're saying max length of 0 between right minus left +1. Both are 0, so you do +1, so it's 1. So max length would be set to 1. And we go to the second character, which is B. Similar thing happens. It's not in the loop, it's not in the map, so we'll straight away come here, and then the map would say B is 1. Left is still at 0, so here we'll do 1 minus 0 plus 1, so this is 2. So max length is now set to 2. For C, same again. It won't be found in the map. Left is at 2, right is at right is at 2, left is still at 0. So 2 minus 0 plus 1, so that is 3. So max length is set to 3 at this point. And the map would be C2. Now this is interesting. So when you come at A again, you're at index 4. No, you're at index 3 and you're at A. So we do have its previous index, which is 0, right? So now the left is max between left or previous index +1. Previous index is 0, plus 1 is 1. So the maximum value is 1. So now right is at 3 and left is at 1, which is 3 minus 1 is 2 and plus 1, so 3. So the max length remains unchanged, but the index of A changes to now being 3, right? And it would sort of go similar to that. I don't think anything changes with this input. In the end we just get answer as 3. I think let's do PWW and KEW. So in this case, initially it's very similar. You'll get P as 0 and then W as 1. This would be at 2. And then when index is 2, we find W again. The index of previous index of W is 1. And at this point left is at 0, right? So left is at 0 and the previous index of w is 1, right? And the current index is 2. Now at this point we are taking the left maximum between left, which is 0, and previous index plus 1, 2. So left ends up being 2 and right is also 2, right? So this essentially becomes right minus left. 2 minus 2 is 0 and plus 1. So max is currently set to 2 and it stays at 2. And at the end of this loop, w's index changes to 2 and p remains at 0. Now both right and left are at 2. Now right goes to did I mess up? No, it's correct. So both are at 2. Now right goes to 3. K hasn't been found before. So left is, we don't do this loop. Left is still at 2. So this becomes 3 minus 2 plus 1, which is 2. Max length remains unchanged. And the map updates K to 3. Now for E, similar thing happens. E is at index 4. It doesn't go into that if bracket, if conditional. So left remains at 2. So 4 minus 2 is 2 plus 1, 3. So max length gets set to 3. Let's update this. And now when we see W again, W is in the map and its index is set to 3, right? So we are going to choose between 2 and 3 plus 1, 4. So left ends up becoming 4 and right is 5, right? So 5 minus 4 plus 1, 2, but this is already set to 3. So this remains as 3 and we return. So yeah, I think this should work. This is O of n time and O of n space as well. Now let's try and run this. Hopefully it compiles. Oh, I didn't update right at all. Yeah, so this needs to be updated, right? Otherwise, this is never going to work. Yeah, so this works if I submit. Wow, it's taking really long time. Of course, this happens when you record, right? But this is zero effort studio, so I'm not gonna bother editing this video. Yeah, so this works. Now, can this be improved? I don't think so in terms of time and space complexity. I believe this is the most optimal solution. Yeah, you have brute force, which would be O of n cube, because you are essentially constructing substrings and then checking if the substring contains a repetition. Yeah, sliding window, there's a less efficient way of doing sliding window. Yeah, I think this is the solution that we just did. Yeah, let me stop here. Obviously I have a lot to improve in terms of recording videos, in terms of my communication, but that's why I have this channel. I don't know why you watched this video, if you did watch it. Hopefully this channel ends up adding value to the people who are watching it. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you soon.